Hello and welcome, Exiles, to my plan for the League Star or lack thereof. I'm thinking about doing a Cobra Lash, Poison Assassin. The angle of scaling is going to be Nightblade and Perfect Agony. My thought process is pretty simple. They gave us access to all damage can poison. Essentially, it allows you to scale your poison based on flat elemental. In my mind, this represents a pseudo original sin to some extent. It bridges the access point of elemental scaling and poison and lets you combine them. And I think this is the biggest driving factor of if you're going to click an assassin, this is why you would do it. So I want to build around that. It's the new thing, and I'm curious. I have not played Cobra Lash previously, and it seems like it's a decent skill in terms of clear possibilities because it has a lot of built-in chains, and if you get extra proj, it should feel pretty good. That's the baseline thought process. Don't overthink it. Now, this character I made a buy list for. You can get this with the Better Trading extension, which works on Chrome, or you could look at somebody who made a backport for Firefox. It is in the notes section right here. All you got to do is click, make sure you drag over the entire column or row, Control C, and then go to import. This will give you the entire listing. There's some rare weighted sum searches. There are some unique items I would consider using, maybe late game or early game. For example, Ungles. Great early game item to get your Perfect Agony up and running. That's what it would be there for. It's not going to be a late game item, but it's an early game fix. Maybe you want a cheap 5-link Embalmer. That's what that's there for. Thunderfist, not a cheap 5-link, but it's a really good early pseudo 6-link. We can actually take advantage of the level 30 added lightning support because we can poison based on lightning damage. Stuff like that. It's just a place to keep all the good potential items in the build in one slot. Now, I haven't fully decided how I want to do this early game scaling, but I am toying with the idea of doing self-chill once again. I did it last week and I had a blast with it with the Peaconk Elementalist, and I'm thinking about running it back for Assassin, especially considering this clip right here. This is kind of subtle, and I don't know if a lot of people heard specifically what Ziggy was saying here. I missed it the first time until I rewatched it, and listen to this closely.
It's like the Grey Wind Howls, which removes elements on you to boost your damage. That one, for example.
The Grey Winds Howl. Apparently there's a graft that removes ailments on you to then give you damage. What would that synergize with? Well, it would synergize with a self-chill, self-poison assassin. It would work perfectly. So I think that's really interesting. Potentially, we don't know. He didn't give us a showcase of what that looked like, so I don't know what kind of multipliers on it, but it's one of the more interesting sounding graphs, so it could pair pretty well with that. And I think, hey, that'd be interesting. So yeah, that's some of my brief thoughts on it. Ultimately, I can't promise this character will be good. I have in the notes section something that literally says, hey, if it's fun to you, maybe you'll enjoy it, but I can't promise anything. I'm winging this. Part of the fun for me is not perfectly testing a build, playing it beforehand. I like to play builds for the first time as much as I can, right? I'll do some initial leveling, test run, stuff like that, but I don't like to set up an endgame character because it ruins the chase of putting a character together, for me, at least. And so that's the way I like to do it. So play at your own risk. That's my word of caution. I will be doing daily updates. Usually I make a build that's pretty good, but I just want to caution you that I am not going to pre-make this character before the league launch. I'd have to set up an OSIN and do a lot of these, jump through a lot of hoops to try to simulate the character, and I really just don't want to do that. So that is my word of caution to you. Another thing I will say is I have done leveling test runs with this character. Yesterday, we did a campaign run where I went to about Act 9 in about 3 hours and 40 minutes. We were approaching a 4:30 campaign completion, which is a bit on the slow side, in my opinion, for the amount of practice I've been putting in more recently. And I think it's due to Cobra Lash in the campaign just lacked base damage. Before you get the all damage poison ascendancy, your access point to flat damage for the claws is completely contingent on getting a claw that doesn't suck. In my entire run, I was struggling to find a claw that didn't suck. This was the best claw I found. For context, with my gems being level 15, a level 15 Anger or Wrath would provide the exact same base damage. So if I had all damage poison and I clicked Wrath right now, my character's damage would literally double. So my thought process is, Probably going to have to be a Peacock leveling run up until Cruel Lab, at which point we could see, hey, did we find a decent flat Ellie Claw? Yes, we did. We'll do a respec. So in the POB, I do have a leveling tree if you want to play Cobra Lash the whole way through. This is basically what I did yesterday, is this tree right here. But I have a Peacock level 54 tree to showcase you don't want to run Cobra Lash. You want to just go for something that's easier until you can get that all damage poison. And this is probably what I'm going to do on Leaguestarter, because I think it's just a bit better to level with something that scales based on gem level. It just gets you away from getting screwed by RNG, which happens. You just get unlucky in terms of farming a weapon. You're going to have a bad time. It's one of the things I always dislike about doing attack-based builds, is because you're completely contingent on if you have a good weapon. If you get a good weapon, you're crushing it. If you get a bad weapon, you're having a bad time. Sometimes you can fix that with flat damage auras. We can't really do that till Cruel Lab. So that's the thought process. Take that how you will. But that is how I've thought about it. Ultimately, I do not have a big end game tree fleshed out, but I will be making daily updates like I always do every league. So if you want to follow along, that's what that will be there for. I apologize for this. Most of this video, I probably have been struggling to talk. That's because I've been really congested in those, pretty sick. And yeah, that's what we're looking at. I will say this is kind of a funny note. If you guys remember way back when, I made a Venom Gyre build. This is one of the only few times I've YOLO'd a lot of league starts. Pretty much all of them have worked out. The one league start I YOLO'd that didn't work out was Venom Gyre. Specifically, it was a poison Venom Gyre. Pretty akin or similar to this idea of doing a poison Cobra Lash league start. But the funny thing about it is, with the new Shepherd of Souls Ascendancy, I could almost see a scenario where I go for Perma Val VG with the Assassin Poison build, and it's almost tempting me. So we might see a relapse where I revisit a skill that has burnt me in the past to try to see if I can redeem myself. I might do some testing with hit counts and stuff later today on stream to see if this is something I would even consider. But for right now, the plan is Cobra Lash. I think it should be decent late game. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Plans to start life-based, probably Peacock, level to Cruel Lab, swap to all damage poison, go Cobra Lash, wing it from there. Late game, let's be honest, Energy Shield crushes life. We're just going to go Energy Shield. Why have 5k base raw EHP when you can have 15,000? They're not comparable. GGG didn't balance them. Is what it is. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Good luck on your league starts. I'll see you all there. Peace out, guys.